Hey everybody, it's Alan from MovingStrong. I just want to, take a minute or so, and a couple minutes maybe, to tell you a little bit about my story of multiple sclerosis. I am 33 years old. I'm married, have two children. But anyways, my mother, she has multiple sclerosis. She's had it now for 18 years, in that range, around 15 to 18 years. Um, but anyways, so I just got diagnosed on September 21st, 2009, and it's kind of crazy because I was weighing 270 pounds, and I decided 2009 was going to be the year when I get healthy and lose weight, get back to my old body when I was in the Marine Corps. And I started doing well. I ended up losing 30 pounds, and all of a sudden one day, I went and worked out with my friends at lunchtime, and we did these different workout routines, and when we'd run, and one day I was running, and I was like, man, I must have tied my shoes really tight, because my feet were they just went numb, and I'm like, oh man, tied my shoes too tight, I'm cutting off the circulation. So, I loosened them up and finished my run, and went back to, took the shower and everything, and nothing changed. My feet were still numb, and I'm like, oh, this is weird. So it's like, okay, well, maybe I did something to my back or whatever. So the next workout we were doing, like, circuit training and stuff, and I was doing these jumps over these hurdles, these side jumps over the hurdles, and I just could not push my legs to jump over the hurdle anymore. And I was just done. I couldn't, and I told him, I was like, I was the more motivating one out there, telling them to, keep going and never stop. And I just knew something was wrong. My body just was shutting down. So, a couple days went by, and I'm like, man, must have really messed up my back, because my legs are going numb. And then slowly, I called the doctor and made an appointment, and it took a while to get in for the appointment. And as that time went on, the numbness went all the way up into my chest. So from pretty much here all the way down to my toes, I was numb, and I was like, okay, really messed up my back. And then I started looking into, symptoms and everything, and I'm like, you know what, this isn't my back. My back doesn't really hurt, it's just numbness, and I think I have MS. So by the time I got to the doctor, I told her, I was like, listen, doc, I think I have MS. Here's different things, and I started looking back, and I'm like, my memory's been like, crap lately, and I just, I can't keep a thought, and the simplest things I'm forgetting, and I was just like, what the, my eyes, my vision, like, I'm like, oh, well, maybe it's my contacts, um, uh, like, I had all these other excuses on why things were going wrong, but not, whatever. So I went and got some MRIs done, and, I did the spinal tap, which my spinal tap went wrong. The fluid, the hole never clotted, and the fluid kept leaking, and then my brain was resting on my skull. It was the worst headache I have ever had in my life, and I couldn't sit upright. I had to stay laying down because that was the only way the fluid would stay there. Well, stupid me, I tried going to work the next day, and then I'm laying down in my office. I had to lay down. I couldn't sit upright. My wife had to come pick me up, and then we went to the emergency room, and then I had to get another spinal tap, but this time they injected blood into the same area and clotted it up, and 30 minutes later I was fine. It's crazy how that stuff works. But so that went on, and then I was waiting for my results of the spinal tap and all that stuff. Well, there was a contaminant on my culture, so they thought I had meningitis. So I get rushed to the hospital, And then and I'm like, I don't have meningitis. I have MS. I don't know what you guys are talking about. I don't have any of the symptoms of meningitis. Well, they had me like in lockdown, and people had to wear masks coming in to visit me, and it was just ridiculous. So that was like a Friday and a Saturday, and then the doctor comes in. And he's like, well, they're pumping me full of IVs, and he's like, we don't think you have meningitis, but we have to do this as a precaution, so we're gonna keep giving you antibiotics. So I had to give myself injections for 10 days. And during those 10 days, I get a call from my doctor, and they're like, oh, yes, you have multiple sclerosis. That night, I went to sleep, woke up at like 4 o'clock in the morning, 5 o'clock in the morning, and it was like a Saturday. And it was like by the time I was trying to be all confident. Oh, I'm gonna be okay. I'm gonna be okay. By the time it hit me, I just I was in the shower, bawling my eyes out, just crying, feeling sorry for myself. And that's when I decided that after that shower, after all those tears ran, that I'm not gonna feel sorry for myself anymore. Yes, I have multiple sclerosis, but I also have a family that needs me to be strong for them, and I have two boys that I have to raise, and still, my wife and I are talking about having another child. So, I can't get down. I can't get down on myself and this multiple sclerosis thing. So I was like, okay, well, what can I do now that I have multiple sclerosis? And I came up with Moving Strong,